Okay folks, I'm going to tie a wee buzzer pattern. The hook I have in the vise is a size 10 Camazon B110 grubber hook. The thread that I'm going to use to tie the fly is Ultra Thread 70 by UTC in black. So simply just come in and get the thread started behind the eye of the hook. Just run on a few turns and remove the waste tag of thread. Now I'm going to come in and put my rib on at this stage. I'm going to tie it in the way down, and the rib is going to be a pearl tinsel in medium and ice blue by UTC. Nice UV shine off this material. Good for ribs on buzzers. So I'm just going to come in after this up to the hook. Just come around with a turn. Just going to put it in the length that I want. And then just simply work your thread down the shank of the hook. Now I'm just going to take my thread slightly around the bend to there. Then I'm going to spin the thread anti-clockwise. Now UTC is a flat thread, so if you spin it anti-clockwise, the thread will flatten out for you. Then I'm going to come back up to where I tied in the rib to there. I'll spin the thread again anti-clockwise. I'm going to bring the thread back down halfway and then back up. And spin the thread again anti-clockwise and just come back down halfway there and then back up, just trying to create a small taper in the body. Then we can bring around our tinsel. Right, I like to get 2 turns at the back of the hook and then simply just rib the body, making 4 or 5 turns of the tinsel up the body to there, follow it across with my thread, and just simply come in and tie this off. Come in with your scissors, remove the tinsel. Right, at this stage I'm just going to throw in a wee half hitch just to see if any work that I've done to that point there. I'm going to run my thread up to the eye, then I'm going to come back down halfway. Then I'm going to put a thorax cover on the fly, and that's going to be a cock pheasant tail dyed red. So just taking off fibres off, just pull it off the stem to create your thorax cover. Now you see the tips, you don't want the tips, just chopping them away. I'm going to put it into my other hand now at this stage because I want to tie this forward of the eye. Just going to come around with a pinching loop. A couple of tight turns now. I'm just going to pull it in a wee tad. Get another couple of turns in. Right, I want to clip the way the cut ends at the back, so I need a pair of sharp scissors to do this. Just trim that away. I'm going to bring my thread down over the cut ends. I'm going to bring my thread up, make sure up to the eye, make sure your pheasant tail stays on top. Right up to the eye, back a couple of turns. Now I'm going to put on gills or breathers at the front of the fly, and to do that I'm going to use the Uni Stretch floss in white. See it better there, that stuff there. Now I have a length off here. All I'm going to do is just offer it up to my side, come around with a couple of turns, push this over, pull this back, and then just simply come in with figure of 8 turns in between the 2 strands of the floss. Okay, just be patient. Right, make sure these stay forward. And just come in with your thread in behind the floss, down with a couple of turns. Now the thorax itself is going to be peacock curl dyed black, and we're only looking 2 strands. Weakest part of the peacock curl is the tips, so just knock them away with your scissors. Just going to come in and put it into length, and then just tie these in nice and tight. Now I want my thread to finish at the back of the thorax. So just pull these forward, round with a couple of turns to there, and then simply just wind round your peacock curl, just one turn in front of the other, bring it right up and then back down, just to build up your thorax to there, and just come across with your thread, a couple of nice tight turns, tying in your peacock curl, and you can trim this away. Now at this stage what we're going to do is just going to divide out the two strands of white stretch floss, bring over your cock pheasant fibres over the back, come in, trim these away. Now, a nice straight cut to there. Come in, pull your white stretch floss out, then trim your breathers to the length that you like. Then just take your thread and just tidy up the cut ends at the back, nice and tight now with the thread turns. Just building it up a wee bit into the thorax. Now, keeping your thread tight, just come in with your whip finishing tool, throw in a couple of whip finishes, pull the thread tight, and then trim the thread away. Now, we've got to protect the body, and to do that, just going to take this out and get it sitting. I'm going to use UV resin, now just a small amount of UV resin. I'm just coming up onto the thread turns at the back of the thorax. Just put on a small dab. And I'm just going to come in with my needle and just spread it around the body. Just right the whole way right round. Now if you think you've got too much, just take some of the excess off. And then we're going to come in and set this with our torch. Just make sure it's well cured. Now what you can do is to see the thorax cover. You need to protect that too. So what I'm going to do is just put on, just going to take the gills down out of the way a bit. Just put on your wee dab of the UV resin and come in and set it straight away. Don't let it soak in to the peacock curl, just come in, give it a blast straight away, make sure it's well dried now. Okay, then you come in and bring your gills back out. Now, just to finish off, I like to give this a couple of coats of varnish. This is just fine varnish, just run it up once. Same underneath. And then what I'll do is just let that dry. And then I'll just put on another couple of coats of varnish after that. So there you go. That's a wee midge paper pattern. Tie a few up for your box. Obviously you can change the colour of the rib. You change the colour of the cock pheasant fibre for the thorax cover, or you could use flesh for the thorax cover. It's up to yourself. Give the fly a wee go, and hopefully you can catch you a couple of fish.